Hey Hoopheads, Brad here with another breakdown, and today I want to talk about the Raptors' 122-117 win over the Hawks. This was the Raptors' third game in 4 nights, and they were led by Norman Powell's 27 points, including 6 threes, and the bench went on a big run to bring the Raptors from down 8 with 4 minutes left in the third to up 21 with 4 minutes left in the fourth. They squandered the lead towards the end, I'll get into that, but it was nice to see the Raptors ticking off their third win in a row against subpar opponents. Let's get into it. On this play, Trae Young attacks Gasol off the screen, but OG Anunoby is in nice help position to make that pass to Collins a difficult one. Goes out of bounds off the Hawks. And then off the side inbound, check out the way Gasol comes up to trap Trae Young. This means it turns into a 4-on-3 for the Hawks until Gasol can get back into position. Siakam runs Reddish off the 3-point line, then OG comes over with the help, almost draws the charge. And as DeAndre Hunter tries to attack the basket, he's going to travel. That's another turnover, one of the Hawks' 23 in this game. Now Trae Young blows by Fred VanVleet, but Gasol is there on the back line of the defense to take the charge. Great effort and great positional defense. And now as Cam Reddish gets a step on Lowry, Gasol's going to come up to help. The pass goes to Fernando, and then Gasol with the great positioning here doesn't give him any room to move. Fernando turns the ball over as he tries to move Gasol inside, and that's where you really see the value of Gasol's size. Then down on the other end, Fred VanVleet is going to bang a 3. The Raptors coming out strong in the first quarter. Here you see the Raptors playing kind of a hybrid zone man-to-man defense. Patrick McCaw giving Kevin Huerter some nice pressure at the top. And then off ball, Bembry's going to come up to set the screen, and you can see Lowry and Siakam switch. This is to keep Pascal up near the top so that he can keep using his length to put pressure on the offense. As the ball goes to Teague, check out Siakam making himself really big to make that driving angle unappealing. The pass goes out to Huerter, and you see McCaw go out to him, and you see Siakam in the middle just kind of free safetying, and then Siakam with a huge block, and that's great help defense from the Raptors. And now Bembry sets a little screen for Teague, and then he's going to clear out, and the idea is as Bembry cuts through the lane, Lowry follows him, and that opens up a lane for Jeff Teague to drive. But check out the way Lowry's keeping an eye on the action, so as Teague starts to drive, he runs straight into Lowry. That's going to be an offensive foul, and that's really great awareness from Lowry. This play is fairly basic, but McCaw gets screened off, and then as he recovers to his man, he gets his hands up, nice and big, active. And if you do that every time you recover to your man, you might only steal it 1 out of every 20 times or something, but over the course of a game, that's an extra couple steals. Now as the Hawks run some 2-man action, Serge is going to get up closer to Trae, such a good shooter. So check out the way Rondé cheats over off DeAndre Hunter. So when Young tries to throw the pass over the top, Rondé's able to break it up. This is the sort of play that I see from Patrick McCaw a lot that I'm just not sure about. As Kevin Huerter gets the ball here, McCaw's going to gamble to try to get the steal, and now he's way out of position. That means everybody else has to get into help position. McCaw's actually able to creep back in and poke the ball away, but it goes right to an open man in the corner. He's going to drain the 3. And on the one hand, McCaw did almost get the steal, but on the other hand, he did compromise the defense a little bit too, and you have to find the right balance with that. On this play, as Trae Young comes off the screen, Marc Gasol is going to come over to help, and Young throws the pass over the top, but Siakam is paying attention. He's able to intercept it. And then on this one, Lowry's on Huerter, and as Huerter gives up the ball, check out how low Kyle Lowry drops. This is so that Fred VanVleet can pressure up on Young without having to worry about getting beat because the help will be there. Lowry closes out to Huerter, and then Siakam runs Hunter off the 3-point line, and OG is in the way to cut off the drive. The pass goes to the other side, and as Gasol closes out, Fred's going to rotate over from the top, and then OG is going to come all the way from under the basket up to Trae Young at the top of the arc. Nice pressure, and Fred with the active hands able to get the steal. OG is going to take it down to the other end, tosses up the oop to Siakam. It's a bit off, but nice finish. And the Raptors turning their defense into offense. Now off the inbound, the Hawks are going to work it around, and you can see how much the Raptors are pressuring Trae Young with OG and Lowry. As the ball goes to the weak side, check out how Fred drops off DeAndre Hunter and gets himself into help position. And then as Huerter tries to throw the bounce pass to the cutting Hunter, Fred is in the perfect position to get the strip, and the Raptors are going to take it the other way. This is an absolute clinic by OG Anunoby on perimeter defense. Nice and low in his stance, moving his feet, great lateral movement, containing Young, and then as the ball goes to Huerter, he switches out onto him. Gives him all kinds of pressure, and then as the ball goes back to Young, OG helps on him, gets the ball out of his hands. Siakam runs Huerter off the 3-point line, and then Marc Gasol with the nice shot contest on the floater, and that's just a great defensive possession. On this play, the ball goes into the post, and Gasol giving up nothing, but as the pass goes out to the other side, Siakam gets out of position, his man gets a step on him, but Lowry with the great hands to get the strip. It goes out of bounds off Bembry too. That's going to be Raptor ball. And now as the Hawks push it in transition, the Raptors do a good job of shutting down the initial fast break. Norm Powell finds himself on Jeff Teague. and he just does a great job of moving his feet, staying in front of him, negotiating the pick, getting back in position, challenging the shot. Just really nice stuff from Norm. Here, Norm's playing defense at the top, and as his man gets rid of the ball, check him out keeping an eye on what's developing on the strong side. And as Vince Carter tries to throw the bounce pass, he's able to sneak over and poke it away. That's another turnover. And this was the point at which Norm Powell was able to really start to catch fire. First, he drains the three from the corner. And then on the inbound here, Jeff Teague gets himself way out of position going for the steal. That leaves Norm wide open. He's going to bang this three. That's back-to-back jacks. And then on the defensive end, as he's guarding Jeff Teague, he's going to fight hard to get over this screen. That causes an offensive foul. And now Trae Young has the ball with McCaw on him, and McCaw's pressuring right up on him because he knows the other Raptors have his back and help position behind him. The Hawks offense getting a little bit stagnant here, so Trae Young pulls it back out. Terrence Davis is going to switch onto him on the screen. And with the possession going nowhere, Trae Young pulls up from the logo. Now off this initial screen, Rondae's going to switch onto Young as McCaw does a nice job of making sure he gets himself between Collins and the basket. Collins comes up to set the screen for Hunter, and McCaw switches onto Hunter, really pressuring him. Stays on his hip as he gets into the lane with the help of Terrence Davis, and Norm Powell deflects the ball out of bounds. Then off the ensuing inbound, Rondae is able to get the strip on the drive. He's going to start to take it the other way, then kick it ahead to Terrence Davis, who throws it down. And then this is another possession where the Raptors are doing a great job scrambling, rotating. Norm gets a deflection and almost gets the steal, but then as the pass goes up to the top, McCaw is going to gamble and go for the tip here. And when he does that, it forces Rondae to try to get up to the three-point line to challenge the shot. Trae lets it fly from deep, and because Rondae was out of position, now he's not there to box out his man. The Hawks get an offensive board. The Hawks pull it out to reset, and they're going to get Rondae Hollis-Jefferson switched onto Trae Young. And as Young goes at him, check out how McCaw comes over to help, but Norm also comes over to help. This is an example of over-helping. Norm is redundant here, and at the same time, he's leaving his man wide open for a three. He drains it, and you can see how those little mistakes start to add up for the defense. Now, after the monster rejection by John Collins, Terrence Davis sprinting back on defense does a great job of getting his arms up so that he doesn't foul. Just hits Trae Young with his chest, and that's enough to stop the fast break on his own. And now as the Hawks work it, the Raptors doing a pretty good job of helping out, but as the ball goes into the interior, the Raptors defense collapses, and here you can see McCaw, he has his back totally to Trae Young. He's checking over his shoulder for where he is, but he still loses sight of him. That lets Trae Young get a step on him as he goes up for this three. McCaw's going to foul him from behind, and that's just a lack of mental focus. And now as the Raptors run continues, we see Norm Powell's behind the back dribble, pulls up for the three. That's a beautiful play that I have not seen Norm do before. Then on the very next play, Norm pulls up with Kevin Huerter all over him, drains it right in his eye. And then as Trae Young attacks, Serge takes a swipe at the ball and he's able to jar it loose. He picks it up. The Raptors are going to take it down to the other end. Norm's going to put it up. Good D by Huerter, but the Raptors recover it. It goes out to Terrence Davis, then to Norm in the corner. Heavily contested again, but he still drains it. And then for some reason, the Hawks decide they're going to put Vince Carter on Norman Powell. Norm waves off the screen because he doesn't even want to switch. He just wants to take it at Carter. Drains a three right over him. And those last four threes all occurred within a 2-minute span in the fourth quarter. Norm was on fire. And now with Norm on fire out of a timeout, this is the play that the Raptors run. McCaw dribbles it up, takes Trae Young into the post. Shoots a fadeaway over a double team from John Collins, but that's not a great shot. And then as Trae Young brings it back down to the other end, McCaw pressuring up, and as Young gets a step on him, McCaw a little bit too eager, and he's going to get called for a foul here. That's free throws, back-to-back mistakes by McCaw. And now McCaw shows some of his positives. Gets himself big here, active hands, able to steal it away. The nice drop pass to Terrence Davis, who throws it down. And then Serge is going to drain a three to get the lead up to the highest it was in this game, 21 points. And the Raptors would completely lose this lead over the next 4 minutes. First, Terrence Davis with a bad turnover on this pass to Norm. DeAndre Bembry's able to get a fingertip on it, then save it inbounds, and Trae Young takes it down to the other end where he's able to lay it up and in. And now you're going to see DeAndre Hunter challenge this shot and then leak out, but the Raptors don't do a good enough job of getting back on defense. You can see McCaw and Serge turning here, expecting Young to run a half-court set, but instead he kicks it ahead. Hunter gets an easy shot under the basket. He misses, but John Collins is there for a putback. Should have been a goaltend, but still. The Raptors call a timeout to settle themselves, and the Hawks decide they're going to switch to a full-court press. Off the inbound, this is just a garbage pass by Patrick McCaw. It's not like Rondae was sprinting in that direction and then stopped. He just way overthrew it. He's lucky that went out off of Trae Young. It stays Raptors ball, but then off the ensuing inbound, the ball's going to go to McCaw, and he just dribbles straight into traffic, into a double team, turns it over. He doesn't have a good enough handle to be the primary ball handler against pressure. The Raptors are lucky that the Hawks aren't really able to make anything of this possession. They just throw it out of bounds. And I understand why Nick Nurse stuck with the bench unit through this phase. They built up this big lead. You're thinking, let's get some rest for the starters. If we can just get the ball past half court and run a few sets, or if we can get any sort of a stop, the time will run out. But the Raptors just could not do that. Here, after the Collins jam, Norm Powell is eventually going to get the ball back from Hollis-Jefferson. He tries to take it up the right sideline and dribbles it out of bounds. Here's Norm over helping again when Serge Ibaka already has Rondé's back. Norm's man drains a three. And now after a Hawks foul, Rondé misses both his free throws. He's able to track down the offensive rebound, but why not pull it out here? It's not like Rondé is Sean Kemp or something. He's not going to be able to dunk it over John Collins. The Hawks push it down the floor, and then Trae Young goes at Patrick McCaw, backs him up with a dribble, takes the step back three as McCaw gets out to try to contest. It's going to be a 4-point play. It got so bad Nurse had to put the starters back in after having a 21-point lead with 4 minutes left. Siakam still jumped to pass here, threw it away. Just an ugly end to the game overall. The Raptors were able to cling on and get the win, but there will definitely be some footage that the coaching staff can go over with the bench players especially and show them where they're making their mistakes. And the Raptors will have to be a lot cleaner in their next game because they're facing the Philadelphia 76ers. Ben Simmons coming off a monster triple-double, and it should be an interesting game. Thanks for watching, and if you want to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button and let me know what you thought of the Raptors defense in the comments.